the right side of history and be the heroes in a sense of granting classified a livable wage. And one last note I will say, on the website I saw how the governor gave 8.22% for cost of living. That's what we're fighting for at the end of the day, you know, that cost of living. And I wonder, you know, my question is, we were given 6% our last deal. I'm just wondering where the 2.2% is actually going, because it was labeled as cost of living increasing. So, I appreciate it. I know this is a family environment, and that's where I want to keep it. But I appreciate the time to speak, and I hope we do the right thing.
Ladies and gentlemen of the board, esteemed cabinet members and fellow community members, as well as I've invited some distinguished guests tonight, our Area G Director, some of my co-regional representatives as well, and my individual Region 11 presidents to come and support our chapter tonight. I stand before you today as a representative of the hardworking classified employees of the Whittier Union High School District. Our purpose here is not merely to express our desires, but to urgently advocate for what is just, fair, and long overdue. For too long, our classified workforce has tirelessly supported the district, ensuring its smooth operation and success. Yet despite our unwavering dedication, we find ourselves facing a stark reality: the persistent struggle for a living wage, healthcare parity, and transparency within this esteemed institution. Our disappointment and frustration have reached an unprecedented level. Last month, we rallied in the hope that our pleas for the fair treatment would be heard, but alas, it appears our cries fell on deaf ears. The decisions made by Cabinet and the board have left us disheartened and questioning the values we thought our educational institution upheld. Now, anyone with a basic understanding of how business works knows that job seekers look at the whole compensation package, not just salary. And let me tell you, our district's pay is so low that we can't even get folks to apply for numerous classified positions. We have several job postings that have continuously flown on EdJoin for over 3 years, and yet Whittier Union still has not been able to fully staff those departments. The district states year after year healthcare is a part of the Whittier Union compensation package. But now Whittier Union wants to cut back on that too, again, while sitting on $70 million. Whittier Union wants to offset their cost of living proposal, which doesn't even keep up with inflation for our less than 8-hour employees, by hiking the healthcare costs for some members 100%. That means many of our employees are going to have less purchasing power, even with the 6% proposed raise by Whittier Union. We, the classified members, were hopeful that the funds from the 8.22% COLA provided by the state of California would be allocated to address our pressing needs. However, our optimism was shattered when it became clear that a portion of these funds was redirected to ensure an additional 9% this year for the already well-compensated management. Let me be clear, we do not begrudge fair compensation for those in leadership roles. What we question is the prioritization of substantial raises for management at the expense of the very classified employees who contribute tirelessly to this district's success. Our disappointment is matched only by our resolve. We will not back down in our pursuit of fairness and justice. As CSEA moves into the next phase of our fight for justice, CSEA has already begun to inform our members we will no longer be calling upon our members and their families to come out in the cold of night to grovel at board meetings while Whittier Union continues to ignore classified employees' cries for help. But we will instead be taking our grievances to the public to the parents, to the community members who entrust their children's education in this institution. We will ask them We will be asking them if cabinet members and management who already earn well over $200,000 annually truly need 9%, while Whittier Union classified employees are left struggling to make ends meet. Our call for a living wage, healthcare parity, and transparency is not just about us. It's about the values we want our educational institution to embody. We implore you to reconsider these decisions, to truly listen to the voices of the classified members who are the backbone of this district. Let us work together to build a district that values every member of the community, where the success of one does not come at the expense of another. We are united, we are determined, and we will not rest until justice prevails. Thank you.
Thank you. My son, as normal, will be next to me. I can't state how important that is to me. The words of my mouth, the actions that I do, they have to resonate, and they will resonate beyond me. For those of you, on a side note, I'm a real big fan of the maíz, sacred. And it is that thing that continues to live on, part of us. Even after I'm gone, he'll be able to tell his children and his grandchildren how he stood next to me before the board, fighting for our brothers and sisters. Good evening, Board President Mendez, fellow trustees, Dr. Oviedo, and Cabinet. I would first like to publicly address a few things. It's been brought to my attention that my historical reference in my last speech offended and troubled some. I apologize, because that was never my intent. Privately, I apologize to the individual who was offended. And for those of you who were offended by my historical reference, I also apologize, because it was never my intent. Nor did I ever allude to a particular individual. I merely stated the facts of history to prove a point. Classified are financially hurting and won't even receive the statutory 8.22 COLA. History proves that challenging the status quo is never easy. Any educator should be able to tell you that's what history shows. The one thing I do want is change and equity. I make no apology for that. The pushback to me has been very strong. That's an understatement. But I was destined for this moment in time. And I want everyone to understand, if I had to say something about you, I would not allude to it. I would be straight out. Please don't misconstrue that statement as aggressive. It's a statement of fact. I've had plenty of opportunities to speak with all of you privately, and I quite frankly enjoy our conversations. I am a firm believer in the doctrine, speak the truth in love. And as Whittier Union family, I would hope this is the norm rather than the exception. I do respect all of you, but that does not mean I agree with you. During Black History Month, I would like to quote the great Malcolm X, who once said, "You have to learn their language." And I believe that is one of the key elements that has created the Great Divide. As a classified union leader, if I am to speak up and state the fact that a $200,000 administrator or manager with the 6% increase is making $12,000 additional dollars yearly and receiving a $6,000 one-time payment is not fiscally sound, nor is it equitable. That is not an attack on administration or management. That is merely stating a fact. And it is not crazy divisiveness, because I'm raising the alarm bell that financially is not a sound decision. At the same time, raising my voice to speak of the inequity that our classified are facing, when a $50,000 employee will see a mere $175 after taxes per month, and questioning the lack of equity is not offensive or aggressive. Just stating the facts We've proposed to Whittier Union an equity adjustment that is separate for classified only because we lag so far behind. Is that aggressive or divisive speech? Is that derogatory speech to bring these facts before you? The reality of Whittier Union's classified is that employees are struggling, and if no one can comprehend and correct that, I would postulate that our greatest threat is not declining enrollment, but it's institutionalized acceptance and practice that cannot comprehend what equity is. And on that point, if I had a dime for every time I heard Whittier Union tell CSEA, what is equity anyways? Everybody has their own definition for equity. I could easily pay for the statutory COLA. While the terms and the actual verbiage used may vary, but the principle remains the same. And that's another alarm bell that's ringing. Is it aggressive to say there's something wrong here? We're not talking about some interstellar concept that can only be theorized, but real human beings who have value and worth. I did not make this up. I did not make up that a $200,000 salary or the terms in which they receive the Me Too increase. I didn't make that up. I did not make up that administration cannot define what equity means or how should it be applied in principle. As a matter of fact, that's another alarm considering the population that Whittier Union serves. I keep hearing about Me Too, but what about us? Really think about the words I'm saying. What about the bus driver, the cafeteria worker, the custodians, the instructional aides, and all the classified? And all the classified that are struggling financially, yet others significantly grow their wages? It's a fact that 62% of Americans live paycheck by paycheck, and classified's right there in that mix. I didn't make that up. What about us? Tell me where I'm inaccurate. I would like to know because I'm an adult, and as a leader, if I say something factually incorrect, or if I say something that factually offends you, I'll admit it publicly, as I just did. I'm asking for classified employees to have a living wage, to have equity. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. And yes, this is new language that you're hearing, and it may disturb and make some uncomfortable because it's so foreign to hear these terms. To some, it may be unsettling when all I'm asking for is that you provide a living wage and give us equity. Asking for equitable wage and equity adjustment is not derogatory, hateful, or attacking anyone, because in reality, the only people that are hurting and suffering in this are the 638 souls that I'm here representing that are Whittier Union Classified CSEA Chapter 42. We must practice what we preach because staff, students, parents, and the community are watching. If anything I said offends you or makes you uncomfortable, that is a sign of opportunity for change presenting itself before you. But the choice is yours. A few months ago, Dr. Russell shared with us the concept during breakfast, and it stuck with me. Conflict is growth trying to happen. Few simple phrases, but man, are they powerful. And based on the actions, we are not growing or evolving as an educational institution when you can literally leave one behind. Much less being equitable to those who need it. We are not going away, not staying quiet. We will fight for a living wage in healthcare. Right now, there's a great irony in my life. As my documentary will be screening at CABE, California Association for Bilingual Educators, in a very small continuation high school up in Ukiah, California, like 2 hours away from any airport. I said, no, thank you, I'll Zoom. But I'm all about people who are overlooked, marginalized, forgotten, disregarded. And I firmly believe and stand firm for a just cause. I proudly stand and fight for my brothers and sisters and siblings. 6% on schedule, 3% bonus, and increased tiered health care is not acceptable. Thank you and good night.
Hi guys, please like and follow our social media pages. Your likes and follows show your negotiations team your support.